Ugh, I'm frustrated. You want to know why? Because I just stumbled across my old 2015 recap video that I made last year. God, what a good video. And I realized that I'm livid because I have not shared with you guys my life appropriately this year so far. I really haven't. I did on camera daily for a little while, but that was a mistake. Number one, I'm sorry. Number two, I need to be better about this. Number three, I have another story to tell you. This one's a big one. This is what happened after Alaska. Because I showed you Alaska in the beginning of the Grace story, this is the rest of the Grace story. After Alaska, this is what happened. So I got back to LA after the Alaska trip and I had 24 hours to move out of my entire apartment before I drove to the Bay Area, got in at 3 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 6 to get back on the road, this time with my mom, heading east for Canada.
Some water, here's the wine.
Amazing. We drove out through California, across through Lake Tahoe, down into Nevada, and let me just say Nevada is a very boring state. We drove all the way to the end of Nevada, right to the border of Nevada and Utah in some weird casino town right near the Salt Flats. Spent a night, made salmon in the camper. It was an event, it was goals. It's so weird that after the Alaska trip, I feel like this is kind of like home. Cheers. The next day we drove across the Salt Flats, which was quite an experience. Oh, forgot to mention we got a flat tire. Yep, another flat tire. Went north through Salt Lake City and then the beauty began. We entered Wyoming and drove through the beautiful lush green hills, and let me just say I was alive. Our campsite was right near the Teton Mountains in Jackson Hole. We were out in Buffalo Valley, so we set up the camper. We decided to put the tarp over Grace, like the same tarp from the Alaska trip to keep out the rain. Oh my God. We didn't know if it was gonna rain or not. We put the tarp on and 2 minutes later it started hailing. Oh, this is unbelievable. So we were very happy with that decision, but we had a phenomenal dinner in Jackson Hole. Jackson Hole, what a great place. Love it. Love its work. So this is what it's come down to. Manhattans in the trailer. We're gonna do a Manhattan tutorial for them.
Okay, we gotta open this.
Okay, well that's the first step. This is good vermouth. Stick there.
2 cherries.
Ooh. Okay, now this is how I always imagine the camper. Great alcohol, Sade playing from the speaker, on top of the spare tires, of course. The next morning we headed north and got coffee at the Jackson Lake Lodge, which was phenomenal and had an incredible view, and then drove into Yellowstone, which I had never been to before, so I was very excited about that. We stopped and took some photos by a waterfall. We drove through the park, we saw some geothermal features, and then we were driving east across Wyoming. What a cool state. I didn't realize Wyoming was gonna be so rugged. I was really a fan. Bought cowboy hats, and then continued driving northeast as we made it into Montana, across Montana, into North Dakota, and then eventually at 10 o'clock at night to our destination of Bismarck, North Dakota. The best part of Bismarck was when my mom and I looked at each other at 10 o'clock at night and said, okay, so motel.
Quite honestly, I think this was brilliant.
From there we headed north through Minnesota, which was really beautiful. We bought honey from a local man in the forest. How are you today?
Great, wonderful.
Amazing. We crossed the border to National Falls and drove through the wilderness for another 3 hours to make it to the small little town in Canada where my mom's family's from, and I spent a week there. Here's the lake, Sioux Lookout. Welcome everybody. This is where my relatives live, and we're in the middle of nowhere in Canada. The contrast of that line. Oh my, wait, it's moving literally so fast. Whoa, 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 whoa. This storm front is moving so fast. This is unlike anything I've seen in a long time. I love the teal underneath it. That is amazing.
Where do you go till 4 in the morning?
I don't know. I don't know if he was in his doghouse because I called it. Probably came home.
Well, somebody's got fireworks.
He went around
I got those ones.
Scared in the dark?
I got a box here too.
Only my friends could see me now drinking gin and tonics on a boat in Sioux Lookout.
Out of Falls.
Cheers. Come on, little fishies. Oh, yeah. Oh. There you go. That's a big one.
How am I gonna do this?
That's great. No, I don't think I'm
He starts flopping around.
We're counting on this fish for dinner.
Stick your finger in there. Right up so you can't get off. There
Oh
you
my
go.
God. Jesus. Okay, we're good. We're so good. Sioux, we headed back down to Winnipeg where we spent a night and then proceeded to drive across Canada. We drove from Winnipeg all the way to Medicine Hat, Alberta, so through all of Manitoba, all of Saskatchewan, and then just to the border of Alberta. I got to fly the drone behind the car. I made my mom so nervous when I had that drone in the air as I sat on the roof of the car in a cowboy hat. And then we had a fun afternoon in Calgary, went out to dinner, explored around a little bit, and then the next morning, considering the fact the housekeepers have knocked on the door 4 times now, I think it's time for me to leave this hotel room. And today, I'm on the road to British Columbia. Rock on. Okay, so we're just starting to enter the mountains, and this is one of the most beautiful regions in the world, you guys. I truly believe that the Rocky Mountain Parks of Canada are some of the most beautiful sights you will ever see on this planet. This is gorgeous! Oh my god! Through the mountains of Alberta and BC to Kamloops.